friends, welcome back to another episode of Kayleigh Grows, and today I'm doing something very exciting. I haven't fully decided if I'm going to be doing this in two separate videos or just one video. You will see. But I have all the makings. I have more stuff over here, more stuff over here. It's kind of everywhere. But I am making not one but two terrariums. I have I have new poison dart frogs on the way, and I also have Milk's tree frogs on the way. The Milk's tree frogs are more of a dire situation, like they're coming sooner, and I want to get them into a terrarium ASAP. So I think I'm going to be making that one first, and then I'm going to be making my dart frog terrarium. I have done a dart frog terrarium video before in the past, so you guys are welcome to watch that. But yeah, without further ado, I want to build one, maybe two terrariums. So the first terrarium that I'm going to be building is this bad guy. The top of the tank is like just out of camera view. It's like literally right here. But this is a 20-gallon hexagon enclosure. The first one is going to be for Milk's tree frogs. So the substrate isn't going to be such a big deal, but I definitely want to give them a lot of climbing space because they are tree frogs. So I mostly just want to get the actual like planted part done. I do want to add some hides probably up high. But I'll be doing that later. But yeah, I am going to be making this bioactive. We'll see how that works just because it is so tall. Usually I make bioactive enclosures for more like ground dwelling pets, but we will see. And yeah. So this tank right here does have a door, so I'm going to be doing everything through the door just so I make sure that it's not like overfilling, because there is this little piece right here. It's maybe 3 inches tall, and I want all my substrate to stay below this level. So yeah, I'm so excited about this. Like, I don't know if you guys can tell. I wanted Milk's tree frogs for a long time. And one of my friends is actually giving them to me, and he can be giving them to me like any day now. And I want a planted tank to be able to seed for at least a few weeks. So I will be letting those frogs quarantine for a little bit in like a, I don't know, just like a small container, just so I can like watch their fecals and stuff. But yeah, without further ado, I'm just gonna get started. I'm just like blabbering on for no reason. But you can come up, Nightmare. Oh, can you not jump because there's too much in the way? Okay, now you can come up. He looks like he's in the tank. But the first thing that I'm gonna be doing is creating the barrier on the bottom, and this is more just for the reservoir of the water. I do have a bunch of leca in here. I'm going to be using half of this for each terrarium. I'm hoping that it's enough. I might have to order more for my dart frog enclosure, but we will see. I have soaked this already and cleaned it, so it is good for frogs. But without further ado, let's go for it. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to use all of this. I forgot quite how big this tank is, but that's okay, no big deal. I can just order more, or even, I think I could just buy some at the store. But I want this to be at least an inch thick. I actually wanted it like slightly thicker, but no big deal. As long as I can see the water and make sure that it's not like encroaching up into the soil, that's really all that matters. Next I have my substrate barrier. So this is just to prevent the soil from mixing with these leca balls. Let's see if I can actually do this, because the hexagon barrier, or the hexagon, is going to make it a little bit more difficult. I thought I had 2 of these as well. Wow, I am just like not prepared, am I? So this part doesn't necessarily have to be pretty. I just want it to cover all of those leca balls. And I'm going to be folding it into place. I think that's as good as I'm going to get. I have like one piece over here that I want to stay folded, and with the soil I should be able to do that. But I have 2 bags of soil. So I have ABG mix. All of this is from Josh's Frogs. The actual tank is not, that's from PetSmart. But the leca, the substrate barrier, all of my soil mixes, the poison dart frogs, most of my stuff is from Josh's Frogs. They're very, very reputable. I've even used them at AZA facilities, so amazing. But this is ABG. Basically this is a fantastic mix of a whole bunch of different stuff, but it has peat moss, pine bark, tree fern, charcoal, and sphagnum moss all mixed in. And you can kind of see each layer of different stuff. But I'm going to be pouring this into the terrarium and mixing it up really well. But I'm also going to be adding bioactive, it's biobedding for dart frogs, and this has pretty much similar things, but just like a different amount of all of them. I'm not having specific tree frogs in here, or I'm not having dart frogs in here, but I felt like it was safe to have frog soil, if that makes sense. But I'm going to be pouring this in. Where are my scissors? I'm going to be getting this into place. I'm just trying to mix it at least a little bit without disturbing that substrate barrier. And then I'm going to be doing a layer of the dart frog biobedding. And be pretty much doing the same thing. Wow, that's like literally perfect. It's right to the level that I want it to be at. Wow, I'm impressed. Next, I want to be giving my frogs a place to climb. So I do have one piece of wood. It's actually left over from my last terrarium that I built, and I just didn't have the space for it. So I'm going to be having that hopefully standing in the middle to give them something to climb on. So I have this piece of wood right here. I don't quite know if I'm going to be able to get it to stay standing. No. So I will be leaning it against the back for now. And this door is going to be the front of my terrarium, so I'm going to be using this as my display, if that makes sense. Okay. Next, I'm going to be adding some plants. I'm going to be adding plants that I know will be doing well in a terrarium setting. And I also I'm hoping to have some leaves that can like really handle the weight of a tree frog, because they're pretty big. So again, hopefully, since this is bioactive, that it will like grow in, and as the longer I have this, the more filled in it's going to be. But I also want it to be like a good head start for the frogs. So I'm going to get a couple of plants together and I'll be back. Okay, I have a bunch of plants. Let's close that a little bit more, or open it a little more. So I have a Monstera Esqueleto cutting. So I'm going to be trying that guy. I have a Philodendron verrucosum. I have a little Thai constellation baby. And then I have a Monstera adansonii baby as well. So I'll be planting all of these in here. I believe that they're going to be hardy enough to withstand the high humidity of a terrarium, but also hopefully be strong enough to hold these frogs. The only one that I'm worried about is the verrucosum. Maybe the adansonii as well, but we'll see about that. But I did want at least one tall big leaf plant for them to grab onto. I don't know if it's quite strong enough for them, but we'll see. This is just a cutting from the plant that I already have. The rest of these are plants that I've gotten in my last haul video. You'll see that they are not things that I ordered, except for the verrucosum. But yeah, so I thought I might as well use them. So I want this big guy to be towards the back. One, so it can be supported by the back of the tank, and two, so it can, it's not too big that it's blocking the whole thing. And this does have some roots in it already, but also it does have another secondary growth point, so hopefully it will be doing pretty well. So that's one. For the verrucosum, I do think I'm going to be putting it farther towards the back because they don't like a ton of light, so I'm going to be putting it almost underneath the log, I guess, that I have for them to hang out on. However, I am not going to be adding this soil to it. I'm actually going to be pulling this plant out of the soil and rinsing it, because I do not know where this soil is from. I don't know if it is okay for frogs, if it has like any fertilizer or anything in it. So this is going to be going towards the back. I also want, these two are starting to grow together. Oops. I do want this to be able to grow up the log, so I kind of want it to sit a little bit towards the front, but not too crazy forward, and then my Thai constellation I am going to be putting right in the middle of this open area, because they do grow quick. So I think that's going to be beautiful. It is very bare for the frogs, so that does make me a little bit worried. I'm hoping to get some sort of hide that I can hang from up here for them, so that they can be really high, but also for me to be able to see them. But I am going to go ahead and plant some of these plants, but first I'm going to be pulling the soil out of this one. Okay, so happy news, the verrucosum is actually two separate plants, so I'm going to be planting them on either side of that wood thing. I don't know how to describe it. So one's going to go pretty far towards the back. And the other one is going to go a little bit farther forward. Next is the adansonii, and this one I'm going to be having right at the base of that wood. So I'm putting the plants that really like to climb over by the wood. I think eventually I will try and get some more of those, like, I don't know what they're called, grapevine things for the frogs to grow on, but they're just so expensive. The frogs to grow on. The frogs to climb on, but they're just so expensive. I just can't afford them right away. And last but not least is the Thai constellation. I'm very excited to see how all of these grow into place. I have struggled with varicosums. These are actually the third varicosums that I bought, so maybe they'll do better in a terrarium setting rather than just out in my open humidity. But this is what I have just right now. I also have some moss and some sphagnum moss and then some leaf litter as well to put in the bottom of this tank. So I'm going to grab all of those and I'll be right back. Okay, so I thought I had leaf litter. I don't know where it is. I looked everywhere that it could possibly be, and I don't know. So I guess I will not be doing leaf litter, but I do have a bowl of sphagnum moss that I have had soaking in reverse osmosis water. So this is, it's even like been soaking in some very, very clean water. And I'm just going to be adding this to different parts of the terrarium. And this sphagnum moss, one, is to help increase humidity. What are you doing? One, to increase humidity. And two, it is to give something for the bugs to break down. So this is going to be a bioactive enclosure. So it is going to have like a cleanup crew going on. And they are going to be breaking down any waste from the frogs, hopefully, but also any plants that slowly die over time, which happens. So any leaves that die, the waste from the frogs, and then I have springtails and isopods. So one will break down the other one's waste, which is fantastic. And I'm just kind of adding the sphagnum moss to the sides of the enclosure. I don't know, just more for aesthetics rather than anything. I have a little bit more RO water left over in the bottom, so I'm just going to pour it in. I'm going to be watering this whole thing at the end, so just a step ahead. I did find my other substrate barrier, so I do have that, but I don't have any leca balls for my other terrariums. That will be a second video. But I also have this pillow moss. We will see how this goes. I've never used this before. It feels very like light, which makes me a little bit nervous. Oh look, I'm supposed to prepare it by soaking it. So I'm going to soak this and I'll be back in 10 minutes. Okay, my moss is done. It's been soaking for like 10 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. But it looks like it comes in these like little mats or little chunks. So I'm kind of just going to place them all around and hopefully they will root on their own. This is so interesting. I'm going to place them in a couple different areas just because I've never used this product before. This stuff, I don't really know. And I don't really know where it's going to prefer to grow. So I'm just going to try a couple different places. And honestly, if it doesn't take, then it's just something else for the bugs to break down, which isn't absolutely ideal, but it works. And again, I'm just going to be adding this water in there. I feel like it looks really cute so far. We'll see how this goes. Okay, so now I'm just going to grab some water and I'm going to be giving this a nice thorough watering. And then I'm going to be grabbing bugs to put in here. So I forgot to press start for the watering, but I just added water, nothing too crazy. And then I have these 2 bins that I have been culturing springtails and isopods. So I'm going to be adding both of these to the enclosure. First I'm going to start with the springtails. And basically they just live in like charcoal. So, and I have a very good culture going. However, scooping it's going to be the issue. And I'm just kind of going to be adding the bits of charcoal in different areas of the tank. I'm actually going to pour some of the charcoal water in. Just to add some more of those springtails. And then in here I have my isopods. And I'm going to be adding these by hand just because then I can count how many I'm putting in. So 1, 2, 3. So this is what the bad boy looks like. I added about 10 isopods in here. So you just press down this little, this is hard to do with one hand. There we go. Open the little door, and I have my Thai constellation. I have my, oh look, there's one of the isopods back there. Esqueleto, I have an Adansonii, a couple varicosums, there's another one, little dairy cows. But I have my charcoal, I have my mosses, and I'm very excited. I'm just gonna be watering this every day, maybe every 2 days, until I get my frogs and until I get a misting system set up in it. And yeah, I'm very, very excited about this. I think it's so cute. I do want one more branch to hopefully like sit here and go high, and like a little hide to like hang up here. But that is my beautiful new terrarium. Okay, literally, how cute is he? I can't handle it. I have 3 of them. You are so perfect. Okay, let's put them in their new tank. There you go. There you go. And I have another one in here. Come here. Come here. Cutie. I can't handle it. Okay, there you go. No, no, you gotta stay off my hand. No, no. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, where's the 3rd one? Are you down? Oh, is it a butt? Oh, I think I found a butt. Come here. No, 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 don't jump, don't jump. Oh, you're chunky. You're chunkier than the others. Oh my god. Hello. Oh, 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 oh. Okay. Well, have fun, guys. Whoa! enjoy, friends.